All right, let me start by calling up Philip to evaluate Yash's icebreaker speech. Take it away, Philip.
Thank you very much, the GE from GE. I appreciate the introduction, and I would like to talk about Yash's excellent speech. Yash, I was very impressed. I haven't heard you do a full speech that's been prepared, and I was very impressed. It sounds like you've done this before. You have a solid foundation to work from. You opened with humor right off the bat, relating to the audience, using something that you had goofed on before with your technology, failing the last time. And you threw in some jokes talking about your name, talking about how it's not polite to boast. So instead you talk about people behind their back and being 10,000 years old, the Mel Gibson joke, all of that, excellent. You had me from the beginning. You have a very confident, bright, smiling disposition, which is excellent for your audience to be receptive to you. It's consistent with your humor as well. You also use dialogue for the humor and the storytelling. A lot of people don't do that. Most people use explanatory type speaking, and you threw in the narrative and the dialogue, so keep doing that. And you had all these hilarious cultural jokes. I always love the one about nodding your head. That's just so great, because I visited India and I saw exactly what you're talking about. I appreciated how you stood up, and that allowed you to demonstrate your body language, which also is very strong. You had an effective use of hands, even more so than a lot of people, even experienced speakers, where you would use them in the right spot. You would then mime things like the double quotes and the heart to hand. I really appreciate that. I value that. Some things to work on, and I'm sure that's what you're here for. The first thing is vocal variety. It's very difficult on Zoom with anybody who doesn't have a headset to use a lot of dynamic range. So we end up somewhat yelling throughout our speech. I don't want to say yelling, but I used to do it before I had the headset, but now I can soften my tone. I can talk quietly, and you still hear what I'm saying. So consider getting a headset or a directional, omnidirectional mic that has a very high quality, and test out your setup if you're really serious about having clear vocal variety. And then you can go through the whole range, up and down, different pitch, different tones. The second thing is something you asked me to help you with, and that is enunciation for American English. Diction, we also call it. I think in the short term, if you can slow down your pace to about 125, 130 words per minute, it will help you pronounce some of the longer, more complex words that can get lost with their syllables as you pronounce them. So record yourself. Calculate how many words are in what you just recorded and how long it took. Do the math. How many words per minute? Slow yourself down. In the long term, I would look at a few different things. The first is those things in English that are difficult for Indian Americans to pronounce. The V versus the W. The R sound. The R instead of the R or the R kind of R. You want to do the hard R. And then the TH sound. And then also the intonation. Like when do you emphasize words as opposed to when do I emphasize words? You want to have it in the right spot. Finally, I think you have an excellent foundation for speaking, Yash. I think if you focus on the language aspect, it will enhance the other skills that you have with speech writing, organization, delivery, humor, storytelling. So make it your mission to learn the techniques for developing the American English accent, if that's your goal. But your confidence and skill is completely evident today, and I think it'll serve as a springboard for future speeches. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Great job, Philip. Thank you very much.